Okay, welcome back to 640 AM The Mix, and today's video is going to be a rebroadcast from WCBS News Radio 880, the final days. They put out a retrospective show, a 2-hour recap show with some great highlights, audio clips of the past 100 years, nearly 100 years, and about 50 years of news as well. So we're going to recap some WCBS 880. I wanted to document this and have it available for those that weren't able to listen. I know you can listen online, and if you can pick up News Radio 880, it is 50,000 watts. It has a wide coverage area, especially at night. But if you weren't able to get a good copy on it, or if you missed this show, I wanted to put it out there to showcase WCBS 880's legacy history, 100 years of AM broadcasting. And I'm sad to see them go. If you grew up in the New York City area, you for the last 50, 60, 70, 80 years, you listened to 880 at some point. I grew up listening to 880, so I'm sad to see them go. So I wanted to document their last days. As I record this little intro, the station's already off the air, but I was able to document some of this show in particular, and other pieces of history as well. So let's check out WCBS 880's a retrospective 2-hour show. I have it for you in its entirety. Enjoy.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
And there's a few spots you want to avoid. Northbound 95 by Country Club Road in the Bronx, road work. Whitestone Bridge, Bronx bound, there's a crash knocking out a lane. Go with the Throgsneck. But if you use the Throgsneck, go to the service road before you get to that road work over in the Bronx by Country Club Road. Inbound George Washington Bridge, 3 lanes are still knocked out on that upper level. That's still causing delays. The crash investigation is still out there on the northbound West Side Highway by exit 14. They're going to divert you by 13 onto Riverside Drive, so be prepared. Lincoln Tunnel's in good shape. Holland Tunnel heading back to New Jersey has reopened. Look out for delays on the Pulaski Skyway in both directions. Andre Farrow, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with clear skies much of the time early this morning, with a rather comfortable start to the day once again on the way down to a low of 66 in Midtown, but 50s for the coolest northern and western suburbs. Ahead of a rather sunny day later today with warmer conditions as the high reaches 83. We'll have partly cloudy skies Saturday night, but it stays dry with a low of 67. And despite it turning a bit more humid on Sunday, it remains generally comfortable with some sunshine and a high of 85. The humidity does build for Monday, though, with partial sunshine. It will stay warm with an afternoon thunderstorm around and a high of 83. Then it remains humid into Tuesday as well with a blend of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower in a couple of spots with a high of 81.
When you need to know why, when it matters most.
Tom Kaminsky, Chopper 880.
It looks like in the office Wednesday here at the inbound Lincoln Holland and GWB. We're averaging 45 minutes plus everywhere that we look.
Only WCBS has traffic reports from Tom Kaminsky and Chopper 880. Listen weekday mornings here on WCBS 880 News. WCBS 880 News. Hear every Mets game, plus the news, traffic, and weather you need every day. Count on WCBS and WCBS FM HD2, New York. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Stacy Lynn. 2 astronauts are still stranded in space. They were supposed to be there for an 8-day mission, but that was 2 months ago, and they still haven't returned. Officials are meeting today to decide what to do. CBS's Mark Strassman reports there are still questions about the capsule's safety.
NASA's key concern, how that propulsion system will perform during critical phases of the flight home, like undocking and the braking burn on the return to Earth. The small engines need to fire hundreds of times to keep the spacecraft in the precise orientation for safe re-entry and on-target touchdown.
Good news when it comes to interest rates.
The time has come for policy to adjust. The direction of travel is clear, and the timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks.
That's Fed Fed Chair Jerome Powell. The Fed's next meeting comes in 3 weeks. Experts think that's when they'll officially announce the first interest rate cut since 2020. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has suspended his campaign and is officially backing Donald Trump.
He is a phenomenal person, a phenomenal man who loves the people of this country as much as anybody can love the people of this country.
He joined the former president at a rally in Arizona yesterday. CBS's Caitlin Huey Burns was there.
Several of RFK Jr.'s siblings released a statement expressing their displeasure of their brother endorsing Donald Trump, saying that it is not in line with their fathers or their families' values.
In Germany, a man went on a knife attack at a music festival, killing 3 people and wounding at least 8 others. Through an interpreter, police spokesman Alexander Cresta says the suspect got away.
We are, of course, still in urgent need of witnesses, videos, photos, anything. The Wuppertal police can be contacted around the clock.
Ceasefire talks continue in Cairo today. The BBC's Sebastian Usher on any progress.
Hamas officials were already in place to be informed of any developments in the negotiations. The team sent to Cairo will apparently play a similar role, receiving briefings from Egyptian mediators on the discussions. The senior Hamas official said there'd be no change in the group's position with regard to its rejection of anything but a complete Israeli withdrawal from 2 key strategic zones in Gaza.
If you're looking to save on gas, go electric. Car and Drivers just named the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the electric vehicle of the year. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility, great pay, and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead. But you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Hi everybody, it's Ed Randall. 1 in every 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime, but early detection results in the least invasive treatments and the best outcomes. Men, have a conversation with your doctor about the test for PSA. It's a simple blood test. For more information about getting screened for prostate cancer, go to bandsforthecure.org.
When you need to know why, when it matters most. This is WCBS 880 News. Portions of this broadcast have been recorded.
My friends, for instance, in Philadelphia, thought I was crazy. They thought this radio was a sort of a passing fancy.
Now, join us for a final look back at what this radio station has meant to New York City. WCBS through the years.
This is Arthur Godfrey, come among you once again.
15 minutes with Bing Crosby.
There, and they enter the center of the ring. Sharky with his hands well up. Joe slouching in as usual. Sharky tries to the left, and they trade the left.
A historic audio journey of an iconic radio station.
Amelia Earhart, the first woman to make a solo flight of the Atlantic.
That's the scene for the groundbreaking ceremonies of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
Babe Ruth has hit another home run.
Here's Wayne Cabot and Paul Murnane.
Well, what a great intro there, Paul. Great to be back with you on the radio one more time.
And it's great to be on a radio station, Wayne, that traces its roots to 1924. WCBS nearly made it to 100 years. Can you believe it?
Shy by about, 3 weeks?
Something like that.
It was September of 24. A guy named Alfred Greeby, who built radios, and of course needed needed something to put on those radios, got the radio station going here. It was WAHG, then WABC, not the Cousin Brucey ABC, but the Atlantic Broadcasting Company, which is what Mr. Paley purchased, the cigar guy from Philadelphia.
We became WCBS after World War II. Mr. Paley here from 1977.
The first thing I had to do when I got over here was to organize the company and to change the program schedule altogether. We were getting no place with what we had, and start to build an organization, which, funnily enough, was not very easy to do. My friends, for instance, in Philadelphia, thought I was crazy. They thought this radio was a sort of a passing fancy. And when I got to New York, I had difficulty hiring people. I didn't sit down and say, this isn't my program for radio as to what I think it ought to become. But I got educated to its potentials and little by little started to evolve the philosophy and the plan. But even before I got into it as a business, I saw it as a bit of magic, as a medium that was able, I thought, at some future time to communicate with all the people in the country and all the people in the world. And what a fantastic thing this was.
William S. Paley from 1977. Let's rewind to, are you ready for this? We actually have audio. Thanks to Dave Plotkin, our whiz here at the radio station from 1929. Here he is, wishing his staff a Merry Christmas.
My best wishes are with you for the coming year. And in the spirit of cheer, let me add that I will endeavor to continue it at any time. The address is 480 Park Avenue. Telephone number, volunteer 1413. Goodbye, and may happiness be yours.
We'll be right back. More after this WCBS Through the Years.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhanced.com/try. That's JABRA enhanced.com/try. jabraenhanced.com/try.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
We're working on a crash on the Whitestone Bridge heading towards the Bronx. Go Throgs Neck, but if you're using the Throgs Neck, you're going to be slow over by Country Club Road, so go to Lafayette Avenue, ride that service road, and get around that delay when you get into the Bronx. West Side Highway still working on that crash investigation over by 116th Street. They're going to divert you over by exit 13 onto Riverside Drive and onto Broadway, so just keep that in mind in your travels. Inbound George Washington Bridge, a 20-minute delay. Outbound's about 15. Lincoln Tunnel, you do have a 10-minute delay. Inbound, outbound is fine. Holland Tunnel has been reopened heading towards New Jersey. If you're using the north and southbound Pulaski, that is very slow by the Tunneling Avenue Circle. Westbound BQA delays in Brooklyn heading towards the Kosciuszko and the Pershing, exit 32. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with another mainly clear and quite comfortable early morning, with the low getting down to 66 in Midtown. However, the coolest northern and western spots once again start the day in the 50s, ahead of a pleasantly warm day later today, with sunshine most of the day and a high reaching 83. We'll have some clouds around the area for Saturday night with a low of 67, before it turns a bit more humid for your Sunday, but it stays warm with some sunshine and a high getting up to 85. We'll have partial sunshine for Monday, but it remains warm and humid. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm in the area with a high of 83, and there can even be a shower on Tuesday, especially north and east of the city. Otherwise, it stays humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine and a high of 81.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes. Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snag on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State health-related restrictions may apply.
Do I choose the Sleep Number Smart Bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number Smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
WCBS Through the Years continues.
Welcome Welcome back to WCBS Through the Years. I'm Wayne Cabot.
And I'm Paul Murnane. 1929, WABC, the predecessor to WCBS and the CBS radio network and all of what was CBS at the time, moved into 485 Madison Avenue in Manhattan. Let's go back to May 4th, 1929. Here's Ted Husing and Zelma O'Neill on the radio.
This is station WABC, New York City, of the Columbia Broadcasting System, Ted Husing announcing. It is now 11 minutes past 12 o'clock a.m., Daylight Saving Time, May 4th. At this hour, using the facilities of this station, the Brunswick Bulky Colony Company is making the most sensational radio test ever conceived to demonstrate the superior quality of reception and tone of the new Brunswick radio receiver. As these words are spoken and sent over the air, they are being received at the recording laboratory of the Brunswick Bulky Colony Company, New York City, and an actual Brunswick electrical record is being made of this announcement and the program that follows as they are picked up by and come through the new Brunswick radio receiver. No other radio receiver has ever been subjected to a test so drastic. For never before has it been thought possible by competent musical and engineering authorities to make a record of a broadcast through a radio receiver that would, when played, reproduce the program sent over the air exactly in every detail as it was broadcast. And what follows furnishes the most authentic proof possible of this statement.
Button up your overcoat when the wind is free. Take good care of yourself, you belong to me. Eat an apple every day, get to bed by 3. Take good care of yourself, you belong to me. Be careful crossing streets. Ooh, don't eat meat. Ooh, cut out sweets. Ooh, you'll get a pain and ruin your tum-tum. Keep away from bootleg pooch when you're on a spree. Take good care of yourself, you belong to me.
We are doing WCBS Through the Years, and you're telling me, Paul, that there were stars before us?
It's hard to imagine, but there were stars. As radio became an institution in the home, you could sit down and listen to one of those cathedral radios, and you would be taken to the party. You'd be taken to the glamorous ballroom, and you could hear the big stars of CBS. Our first big stars, Kate Smith and Bing Crosby.
This is 1931. Wow.
15 minutes with Bing Crosby. Introducing Bing Crosby. Here is the moment you have been waiting for. The delayed appearance of that sensational baritone, Bing Crosby, whose singing has made him the favorite of California, to the mediums of the motion pictures, the vaudeville stage, and the radio. It was our announced intention to present Bing Crosby's initial program Monday night, but a severe attack of laryngitis made it impossible for him to appear until tonight. However, his voice has recovered sufficiently to allow him to bring to you now his inimitable song interpretation. So, offering Bing Crosby in the popular song of the day, Just One More Chance.
Just one more chance to prove it's you alone I care for. Each night I say a little prayer for. Just one more chance.
I'm going to sing my next song for the Jolly Gang. That's what they call themselves. And they're on the 5th floor of the Herman Kiefer Sanitarium in Detroit, Michigan. Sorry I couldn't get my buddy ready for you fellas, but I'll try to serenade you with Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone. Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey,
WCBS Through the Years. More coming up. WCBS Through the Years.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SavedByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Get your laugh on with me, Chris Jericho, and the Talk is Jericho podcast. We've got Guns N' Roses Hall of Famer Duff McKagan and his joke of the week every Friday, plus regular visits from the hilarious Brad Williams and special appearances by everyone from Gabrielle Fluffy Iglesias, Mark Maron, Dennis Miller, Cheech Marin, Kevin Nealon. If they're funny, they're on Talk is Jericho. So listen to and follow Talk is Jericho now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
Dealing with big delays already on a Saturday morning as you travel in the Bronx, northbound 95 by Country Club Road. Go Service Road, go Hutch. If you're traveling on the northbound side of the Whitestone Expressway, still working on a crash at the foot of the Whitestone Bridge on the Queens side, trying to get to the Bronx, not an easy task. If you use the Throgsneck Bronxbound, that's better, but you also have that road work waiting for you over by Country Club Road, so go to Service Road. West Side Highway, still working on a crash and investigation northbound 160s, so you're going to be diverted over by exit 13 onto Amsterdam Avenue and Riverside Drive. Broadway might work for you as well. Inbound George, throw in 20 minutes. Outbound the same with that roadwork still out there. 3 lanes knocked out on both sides. FDR northbound right around the area of 79th Street. Look out for a disabled vehicle there. We do have the Holland Tunnel heading back to New Jersey reopened. The Pulaski Skyway is slow in both directions because of roadwork. Westbound Belt Parkway over by Cross Bay Boulevard, starting to see some volume there. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with clear skies much of the time early this morning, with a rather comfortable start to the day once again on the way down to a low of 66 in Midtown, but 50s for the coolest northern and western suburbs, ahead of a rather sunny day later today with warmer conditions as the high reaches 83. We'll have partly cloudy skies Saturday night, but it stays dry with a low of 67, and despite it turning a bit more humid on Sunday, it remains generally comfortable with some sunshine and a high of 85. The humidity does build for Monday, though, with partial sunshine. It will then stay warm with an afternoon thunderstorm around and a high of 83. Then it remains humid into Tuesday as well with a blend of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower in a couple of spots with a high of 81.
WCBS 880 will cease operations on Monday. It has been an honor to deliver your news, weather, and traffic, and to be a part of your lives for nearly 6 decades. Beginning Monday, we invite you to turn to 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Weekdays on WCBS. Newsline with Bridget Quinn gets right to the point.
Are we pretty confident here that...
That's a great question.
Would we be able to stave off?
That's an excellent question.
Why is it that they feel they...
That's such an important question.
There's no question. You get depth and analysis on Newsline with Bridget Quinn. Weekdays at 10 on WCBS 880 News.
Hey, Ann, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking a question.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
When you need to know why, when it matters most. Count on WCBS 880 News. Streaming 24/7 on the free Odyssey app. WCBS Through the Years continues. Here's Wayne Cabot and Paul Murnane. Music
music was a part of the early scene in the 1930s at what was WABC. Here's John Hammond, who went on to a great career at Columbia Records, talking about the importance of the big band sound on what was then the new medium of radio.
All radio stations in those days had house bands, unlike what we have today, where there is no live music. There were remote, practically all the nightclubs in New York.
As you know, ladies and gentlemen, that's the theme melody that brings us a program of distinctive dance music played for you by Joe Hames and his orchestra. Joe Hames broadcasting from the grill room of the Hotel McAlpin in the Herald Square district of New York City. The program opens with a tune titled, In My Country, That Means Love.
As long as we have our tuxedos on, we go from the Hotel McAlpin over to Rye Playland was around back then. Can you believe that? This is 1938.
WABC, New York. For your dancing pleasure, Columbia brings you the music of Mal Hallett and his orchestra, coming to you from the casino at Playland, Rye Beach, New York.
If it rains, who cares? You're like the sunshine to me, it's heaven to be with you.
Lawrence Loman was an early executive, the vice president of personnel. He had to deal with the formation of a musicians' union in those days. And he also here speaks about the hiring of black musicians for part of the CBS sound.
One of the first trial and error periods for broadcasting in general was pressures from labor unions and how to handle them. And in particular from the musicians' union, who were very strongly led by Petrillo. At one point, in negotiations in the 30s, I went to see him. And he met me at the train. We talked on many occasions. In an armored car. It was during the rough 30s. And a car rode ahead with armed men. He was somewhat fearful, I presume, of his own situation. Certainly no concern of his as to mine. And I found out after he just had done it as kind of a gag. He thought it would be maybe impressive, but more than that, that it would have influence the negotiations that were to come. Eddie Wilson was the first to be hired, in my recollection, on any basis of our thinking in terms of doing something about blacks. And we were aware of the problem and wondering about how to best go about it, but not terribly intelligent. It was John Hammond who first called me and said, "You know that you don't have one black man in your orchestra." And I said, "What do you suggest?" He said, "Well, I'd get just a few, certainly start with one very good one. I think I could get Teddy Wilson."
And now the trio with Teddy Wilson at the piano, Gene Krupp at the drums. They'll all get together and play a little popular ditty called "There's a Love in My Life." Take it, Teddy.
calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait, communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Only WCBS has traffic reports from Tom Kaminsky and Chopper 880. Listen weekday mornings to stay out of a jam here on WCBS 880 News. WCBS 880 News.
At California Psychics, we know that doubt can get in the way of your relationship. One moment you're enjoying a romantic date, the next you're thinking,
Is this guy right for me? Could I spend my life with someone who has more hair on his feet than on his head?
then you realize you've been thinking out loud.
Wait, come back,
Thankfully, California Psychics can clear away the dating doubt. Our accurate psychics are available 24/7 to give you all the guidance you need to make the right relationship choices. And California Psychics is the psychic service more people trust. That's why we can guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 80% off their first reading. I can smell love in the air already. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
Definitely not the start we wanted this morning. We have this crash investigation on the West Side Highway, northbound around 160th Street. So they're going to divert you off by exit 13. They have to use Riverside Drive to skate around this incident. Road work at the George Washington Bridge. Big delays on both sides. 3 lanes are knocked out on the upper level round trip. So you're looking at least a solid 25 in, 25 out. Westbound delays on the Cross Bronx, approaching the Bronx River Parkway. Northbound 95 by Country Club Road. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, yes, they did again. Left lane is knocked out, heading up towards Pelham Parkway. If you're heading east on the Bruckner, approaching East Fremont Avenue, now you are committed to that delay. Avoid northbound 95 by Country Club Road if you're using the Throgs Neck Bridge. Go right to the service road at Lafayette Avenue. Eastbound, westbound delays on the BQE approaching the Brooklyn Bridge and Atlantic Avenue. Look out for slowdowns across the Pulaski Skyway in New Jersey in both directions. Holland Tunnel heading back to Jersey City has reopened. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with another mainly clear and quite comfortable early morning, with the low getting down to 66 in Midtown. However, the coolest northern and western spots once again start the day in the 50s, ahead of a pleasantly warm day later today, with sunshine most of the day and a high reaching 83. We'll have some clouds around the area for Saturday night with a low of 67, before it turns a bit more humid for your Sunday, but it stays warm with some sunshine and a high getting up to 85. We'll have partial sunshine for Monday, but it remains warm and humid. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm in the area with a high of 83, and there can even be a shower on Tuesday, especially north and east of the city. Otherwise, it stays humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine and a high of 81.
This is WCBS 880 News.
Morning, people, wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast, people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Wake up and start your morning at McDonald's. Right now, mix and match 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches for just $6. Like a sausage McMuffin with egg, sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or chicken McGriddles. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price. Town Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest name brand discount tire dealer. We give you the guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand tires and honor all manufacturers' rebates. We even honor our competitors' rebates. With over 100 stores from Connecticut through New England and an inventory of over 600,000 tires, you'll always get the right tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brand discount tires. Town Fair Tire.
CBS
CBS News Brief. NASA officials are meeting today about the 2 astronauts stuck on the Starliner in space. With concerns over the capsule's safety, they'll decide whether they can return on that craft or wait until next year to fly home with SpaceX. But Boeing's Mark Nappy says,
I'm very confident we have a good vehicle to bring the crew back.
RFK Jr. is suspending his presidential campaign and has now endorsed former President Trump. The two appeared together at a rally in Arizona.
His candidacy has inspired millions and millions of Americans, raised critical issues that have been too long ignored in this country.
A man's on the run after going on a rampage with a knife at a music festival in Germany.
I can't say with 100% certainty that there's no danger from this person. That's why we still advise caution.
Officials say 3 people were killed and at least 8 others were injured. CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut's home for news, traffic, weather, and the mess. This is WCBS 880 News. Portions of this broadcast have been recorded. WCBS Through the Years continues.
Welcome back to WCBS Through the Years. I'm Wayne Cabot.
And I'm Paul Murnane.
I think you could trace our news origins on WCBS to 1932. So many years ago, what's important about 1932 is that was the first night, really, that radio scooped the newspapers to announce the FDR election victory. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, radio got it first, and that was something brand new. And here, Bob Trout of CBS calls the 1932 election.
This is Robert Trout at our election headquarters in the newsroom in New York. The results of the 1932 election now appear to be certain. The ticket of Roosevelt and Garner has won a clear-cut majority over the Republican ticket of...
And that led to a press war between the radio networks and the newspapers. And the wire services were cut off for nearly 2 years to this place. William Dunn was a writer and an editor at WCBS in the 1930s.
Back in the early 30s, the press associations refused to sell news to us. They just wouldn't let us in on the thing. So, White, Abe Schechter, and several others like that got together and organized their own news service. And CBS had a pretty fair little news service going with correspondents in Washington, Chicago, several of the key places. It was effective enough that the press associations got worried. So they agreed to set up an outfit called Press Radio News, which all the press associations contributed to, and they furnished the networks with a certain amount of canned news every day.
General Mills, the cereal company, was the big sponsor of the Columbia News Service by then. It was 1933, and that really thrust CBS into becoming the leader in radio news, hiring hundreds of reporters all throughout the country.
We believe what you're going to hear next has not been heard since it was on the radio in 1932. Amelia Earhart speaking at the Advertising Federation of America Luncheon, June 20th, 1932, on what was then WABC.
Here she is talking about her transatlantic flight.
Thank you so much for your welcome. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. It seems much longer than a month since I left. As a matter of fact, this is the anniversary of the day that I hopped off from Harbor Bay. I don't know exactly what you'd like to hear about. Flying the Atlantic is not the most difficult of things. There are many things which are harder to do. After all, one just sits as long as everything is all right. And of course, flying over the Atlantic in similar conditions might be the same as flying over any kind of land. Of course, it was easier for me to try at this time, and as much as I had a chance to see something of the Atlantic on another flight. I knew, for instance, that good weather could not be expected over the entire 2,000 miles. What one is prepared for presents less difficulty, of course, than going into something unknown. I think about 60% of any expedition is the preparation. I was helped, of course, in this by Bert Balkan, and he did more than I can express to make it a success. Somewhere on a cows always get mixed up in my flying. More things have happened to me in cows, I think. This time it was reported that I killed a cow on landing. I didn't kill a cow on landing, unless one died of fright.
More coming up. WCBS 3 Years.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Kick off fall with Labor Day deals at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on select interior paint via Lowe's gift card rebate for your next paint project. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members save more on select 1.5 pint or 1 quart mums. Get 5 for just $10. Shop these can't-miss deals today before they're gone. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 9/4 while supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change. See Lowe's.com/rebate for details.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
Definitely not the start we wanted this morning. We have this crash investigation on the West Side Highway, northbound around 160th Street. So they're going to divert you off by exit 13. Then you have to use Riverside Drive to skate around this incident. Road work at the George Washington Bridge. Big delays on both sides. 3 lanes are knocked out on the upper level round trip. So you're looking at least a solid 25 in, 25 out. Westbound delays on the Cross Bronx, approaching the Bronx River Parkway. Northbound 95 by Country Club Road. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, yes, they did again. Left lane is knocked out, heading up towards Pelham Parkway. If you're heading east on the Bruckner, approaching East Tremont Avenue, now you are committed to that delay. Avoid northbound 95 by Country Club Road if you're using the Throgs Neck Bridge. Go right to the Service Road at Lafayette Avenue. Eastbound, westbound delays on the BQE approaching the Brooklyn Bridge and Atlantic Avenue. Look out for slowdowns across the Pulaski Skyway in New Jersey in both directions. Holland Tunnel heading back to Jersey City has reopened. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with clear skies much of the time early this morning, with a rather comfortable start to the day once again on the way down to a low of 66 in Midtown, but 50s for the coolest northern and western suburbs. Ahead of a rather sunny day later today with warmer conditions as the high reaches 83. We'll have partly cloudy skies Saturday night, but it stays dry with a low of 67. And despite it turning a bit more humid on Sunday, it remains generally comfortable with some sunshine and a high of 85. The humidity does build for Monday, though, with partial sunshine. It will stay warm with an afternoon thunderstorm around and a high of 83. Then it remains humid into Tuesday as well with a blend of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower in a couple of spots with a high of 81.
It's summer in Britain, and the crimes are just getting started. I found another body. Doing the best of British crime drama, only on BritBox. Don't miss new seasons of acclaimed series like Blue Light, which Time Out calls the Belfast answer to the riot. And The Responder, starring Martin Freeman in his international Emmy award-winning role.
I can feel it. I'm going to talk.
Doing the best of British crime drama on BritBox. This is why I want to be a detective. Watch with a free trial today.
Here's a tip to make your next trip to a foreign destination more enjoyable. Try learning the language. It assists with discovering local spots to visit. Rosetta Stone offers a lifetime membership to all 25 of their languages. Try a little German, learn Japanese or Swedish. Get to prepare with Rosetta Stone. And right now, you can get 50% off Rosetta Stone's lifetime unlimited subscription. Visit rosettastone.com/radio today to purchase and then learn for life. That's rosettastone.com/radio.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait, communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
This is Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center. Weekday mornings and afternoons, I keep my eyes on the sky for trouble. But every time you use your cell phone while driving, your eyes are not on the road, and you are asking for trouble. Distracted driving kills and injures thousands every year simply because people think they can multitask safely. So before you pick up the phone in your car, think twice, especially if you want to see another sunny day. A message from WCBS 880.
WCBS 880 News. WCBS Through the Years continues. Here's what...
Out to the outfield somewhere.
This is believed to be the earliest recording of the voice of Babe Ruth on the radio.
This is from 1933, shortly after that event.
Babe, you've had more publicity than the Prince of Wales. You like it?
Well, I'll tell you about that. I wouldn't be human if I didn't like sprawl write-ups for my home runs. But I don't like the papers to say that I see sick and crippled kids to get my name in the headlines. That's all wrong. I'm strong for the kids. I know them, and they know me. Publicity can't make a fellow smack the old apple or play good ball. If he does that, he'll get publicity anyway.
I saw a flock of autograph hunters around you the other day like flies around a sugar bowl. You must get a lot of writing practice.
I sure do. I put the old Hancock on everything they push in front of me except blank checks. Baseballs, books, gosh, everything. Someday I'll be signing socks.
I'm getting chills. Yeah. I'm getting chills.
From the Babe to boxing. This is a big moment here, Paul.
This is from August of 1936. Ted Husing on CBS calling the fight between Joe Louis and Jack Sharkey.
This is Ted Husing speaking to you from the ringside at Yankee Stadium, where the New York World Telegram and Associated Scripps Howard newspapers will bring you a blow-by-blow description of the 10-round heavyweight fight between Joe Louis and Jack Sharkey. And here's Soccer Cole for the first round. All right, Soccer.
In the second, we'll hear the bell. The boys are dancing in their corners. Their bell, and they enter the center of the ring. Sharkey with his hands well up. Joe slouching in as usual. Sharkey tries with the left, and they trade left. They circle in the center of the ring. They stand cautiously. There's no rushing in trading. Sharkey tries into short with the straight left. Joe hits Jack with a right crossover, just like Schmeling hit him, but not an effective punch. Joe comes in with a straight right and a left to Sharkey's head. The right over as he lands a left to Sharkey's body, and a right chop to the chin, and a right and a left to the body.
Ted Husing, a sportscasting pioneer, one of the first, if not the first, to broadcast sports. And speaking of first, is it time now for the man to whom we salute? The man whose picture has been on our wall for all these years? Except for the cigarette. We cut the cigarette off because it's not fashionable in modern times to have Edward R. Murrow puffing away at a cigarette.
He didn't always make a living in news. Here he is in France in 1937, covering, and I want to slow down as I say this, Django Reinhardt and the Quintet of the Hot Club of France.
And so we say goodnight to Stefan Grappelli and Django Reinhardt and the Quintet of the Hot Club of France. They have been playing for you from the Brick Top Cabaret in Montmartre, Paris. This is Ed Murrow speaking and saying, swing it, America.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say fun and games for Ed Murrow for too long as war tensions were breaking out all throughout Europe. But before that happened, we have a great clip here I want to play for you from WCBS before you and I were doing mornings, Paul.
I think we were still WABC then, actually.
You still want to correct me? You still want to? Fine, Paul, have at it. WABC. But it's very confusing because people think about the music radio ABC.
Right.
It's not. It's what our call letters were.
For the Atlantic Broadcasting.
And so they did a reshuffle in the 1940s.
Lanny Ross here, sponsored by Franco-American Spaghetti. We're still reading credits. This is from December of 1939.
Franco-American Spaghetti presents Lanny Ross with his special guest, Jessica Dragonette.
Moon over Miami. Good morning, everyone. This is your friend Lanny Ross. And if you'll just make yourself comfortable, I'd like to sing you a few songs.
Say, Lanny.
What is it, Gene?
Don't you think you owe the folks an explanation? You know, you usually begin by singing Moonlight and Roses.
Gene's right. I do owe you folks an explanation. The reason I sang Moon Over Miami is because that's just where we are. Miami, Florida. The place where summer goes to spend the winter. Gene and I came down here so that I can sing tonight at the premiere of Paramount's new full-length color cartoon, Gulliver's Travels, in which I sing the role of Prince David. Jessica Dragonette, who sings the role of Princess Glory, is down here for the premiere, too. And she has graciously accepted my invitation to be our guest today. So, all things considered, I want to say, it's a happy day. Toodle-oodle-oodle-oodle-oodle-ay. For you and me, for us and we, all the clouds have rolled away. It's a happy day. Toodle-oodle-oodle-oodle-ay. The sun shines bright and the world's alright. It's a happy day. It's a happy day.
We'll be right back. More after this. WCBS Through the Years.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
There's new Tropic Bowls of Paradise at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Enjoy our new Bahama Mama Bowl, inspired by our fan-fave smoothie flavor, serving pineapple, strawberry, and coconut. Or dig into 32 grams of protein with our new Peanut Butter Protein Crunch Bowl. It's tropic time. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comic books are just 50 cents each at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. In-store only. Offer ends 8/24, limit 20. Save big on back to school at Staples.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
Big delays in the Bronx. Here we go again over by Country Club Road, northbound 95. And yeah, left lane knocked out again. And that's a spot that's always slow to begin with. You take out the left lane, it's game over. So try to avoid that area if you can. It's going to cost you about 30 minutes once you're committed to it if you do get sucked into it. Now here's the deal. You want to go at Lafayette Avenue if you're traveling over the Throgsneck. Go right to the service road. If you're heading eastbound of Bruckner, before you get to East Tremont Avenue, try to hop on the Hutch if you're driving a regular car, because once you're committed, you are committed. You're going to be sitting there for a while. At least a 25-minute delay on both sides of the George Washington Bridge, upper level road work on both decks. A couple lanes knocked out, so you still have that to deal with. Northbound West Side Highway still working on a crash investigation up by 160th Street. You have a diversion in place over by exit 13. You're going to be heading towards Riverside Drive and even Amsterdam Avenue, possibly Broadway, to get around this deal. Inbound Lincoln Road, 15 minutes. You have delays in Jersey City on the north and southbound Pulaski because of road work. We have a westbound crash on the Belt Parkway. We have a westbound crash on the Belt Parkway approaching the Verrazano Bridge as you travel past Stillwell Avenue. You're going to be needing some time there. Eastbound delays as well over by Bay 8th as people are taking a peek. Verrazano road work is starting to be picked up, so you're dealing with some delays heading towards Brooklyn. And the westbound Grand Central Parkway road work right in front of Citi Field will slow you down approaching Roosevelt Avenue. Southbound delays in Stanford over by 95 with road work. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with another mainly clear and quite comfortable early morning, with the low getting down to 66 in Midtown. However, the coolest northern and western spots once again start the day in the 50s, ahead of a pleasantly warm day later today, with sunshine most of the day and a high reaching 83. We'll have some clouds around the area for Saturday night with a low of 67, before it turns a bit more humid for your Sunday, but it stays warm with some sunshine and a high getting up to 85. We'll have partial sunshine for Monday, but it remains warm and humid. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm in the area with a high of 83, and there can even be a shower on Tuesday, especially north and east of the city. Otherwise, it stays humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine and a high of 81.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. That's how much you could lose when you join NJ Diet, because NJ Diet only takes 40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. With NJ Diet's contractually guaranteed money
back program, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. NJ Diet is 100% tailored to you by using bioenergetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep it off for the rest of your life. 40 days up to 40 pounds can be a real thing. Unlike other weight loss systems, NJ Diet is all natural. No shots, no hormones, no pre-packaged foods, and no surgery. With offices throughout the tri-state area or worldwide with live online video consultations. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days.
WCBS Through the Years continues.
I'm Paul Burdine.
And I'm Wayne Cabot.
Here we are now in October of 1940, which you have to believe was about the moment people began swearing in the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, right?
It's when cars began taking over, and we needed a way to get from Manhattan to Brooklyn, Brooklyn to Manhattan, underwater because the bridges were already getting clogged up.
FDR and Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? We speak to you now from downtown Brooklyn at Hamilton Avenue and Van Brunt Street along the East River. The scene for the groundbreaking ceremonies of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, the $80 million project which is to link the boroughs of Manhattan and Brooklyn. The preliminary ceremonies are now in progress, and in just a moment or so, we will take you to the speaker's platform. The principal speakers of the occasion will be the President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the Mayor of the City of New York, Fiorello H. LaGuardia.
I take great pleasure in introducing to you our Mayor, Fiorello H. LaGuardia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just another of the many, many occasions that New York City extends its thanks to President Roosevelt for making possible so many necessary public improvements. Now I have but one function to perform, and that is, Mr. President, today we break the ground for the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. It will take 4 years to complete. I now extend to you a formal official invitation to attend the opening in your capacity as President of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, President. Governor Lehman, Mr. Mayor, I'm very happy to be back in my state, our state. I'm very happy to take part again in the breaking of ground and the commencing of another great project by which the people of this city can more easily go from one part of the city to the other.
Well, as we were chugging away in New York City, making our way through the new tunnel, we were watching the headlines and now hearing the headlines on the radio about what was happening on the European front.
Bob Trout and Edward R. Murrow.
This is London. Sitting opposite me is Mr. A.L. Easterman, chief foreign correspondent of the Daily Herald. Now, I think I ought to tell you that the Daily Herald is the official organ of the Labour Party, and in the past has therefore consistently opposed the policies of Mr. Chamberlain's administration. This is London calling Paris.
This is Paris, Admiral. This is Thomas Grandin on Paris. Last night, the news went around Paris that Hitler's reply to the British government was lengthy. It was obvious that the German Chancellor was still in an argumentative mood.
This is Bob Trout bringing you the news of Europe as it now stands at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. First, Adolf Hitler has issued a decree forming a ministerial council for the defense of the Reich. And the latest word from Berlin declares that the purpose of this council, which will be headed by Field Marshal Goering, is to provide uniform guidance of the administration of all German industry. This is the situation as it now stands. For further developments on the European situation, keep tuned to your Columbia station.
Everyone was glued to what was happening on our radios. H.V. Kaltenborn is a legendary name, CBS News correspondent, and he says everybody had a radio and everybody was listening to what was happening in Europe.
All over, wherever you went, you saw people carrying radios because they were listening to the crisis and didn't want to lose a minute of it. That for the first time, the entire country was aware of the fact that the actions of one of these dictators operating over there in Europe could plunge this country into a world war.
1941 1941 was the year that what was WABC, soon to be WCBS after World War II, landed at the frequency we know today, 880 on the AM band.
And something major, as we all know, happened that year in 1941, and the most historic event perhaps to occur in this country in that century, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And I've never heard this clip before. I can't wait to hear it right now. I'm not sure anyone's heard this in a very long time. Here's CBS reporter Webley Edwards, who was in Honolulu as the bombs were dropping, and we picked up the feed from Honolulu that fateful day.
Everybody throughout the territory of Hawaii, turn on your radios loud so that your neighbors can hear it. Here's the announcement. A statement by Lieutenant General Walter C. Short, Commanding General of the Hawaiian Department. Quote, Governor Poindexter has just proclaimed martial law. Prisoners, when captured, will be turned over to the nearest military patrol, or police station. The information regarding suspicious persons will be telephoned to the Provost Marshal at Honolulu telephone number 2948. A complete blackout of the entire territory will go into effect at nightfall tonight. Anyone violating the blackout by showing a light will be summarily dealt with. All civilian traffic, except in cases of direct emergency, will cease at dark.
More coming up. WCBS Through the Years.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and 1st Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Think how devastating it would be if you couldn't communicate with your children or other adults, to not be able to express yourself verbally. Individuals with nonverbal autism are unable to communicate through normal means, but Kate Winslet's Golden Hat Foundation wants you to know they still have a lot to say. You just have to know how to listen. Shining a light on the abilities of those with autism is the mission of the Golden Hat Foundation, and they need your help. Learn more at goldenhatfoundation.org.
Time for WCBS Traffic and Weather Together.
The name of the game is roadwork this morning. You got a big delay on the northbound side of 95 by Country Club Road. Inbound George, outbound George, upper level roadwork's going to slow you down at least 25 in, 25 out. West Side Highway still working on that crash investigation northbound over by 160th Street. At least 20 minutes at the inbound Lincoln. Outbound Lincoln's okay, maybe 10 minutes. The Holland Tunnel heading back to New Jersey has been reopened. Some scattered delays across the Verrazano round trip because of earlier roadwork. Westbound belt delays, still working on a crash right around Stillwell Avenue. Westbound Grand Central Parkway slow by Roosevelt Avenue near City Field. And we do have big delays on the westbound LIE approaching Woodhaven Boulevard. Andre Farrow, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with clear skies much of the time early this morning, with a rather comfortable start to the day once again on the way down to a low of 66 in Midtown, but 50s for the coolest northern and western suburbs. Ahead of a rather sunny day later today with warmer conditions as the high reaches 83. We'll have partly cloudy skies Saturday night, but it stays dry with a low of 67. And despite it turning a bit more humid on Sunday, it remains generally comfortable with some sunshine and a high of 85. The humidity does build for Monday, though, with partial sunshine. It will stay warm with an afternoon thunderstorm around and a high of 83. Then it remains humid into Tuesday as well with a blend of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower in a couple of spots with a high of 81.
WCBS 880 will cease operations on Monday. It has been an honor to deliver your news, weather, and traffic, and to be a part of your lives for nearly 6 decades. Beginning Monday, we invite you to turn to 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world.
Your trusted source for news, traffic, weather, and every Met game. This is WCBS and WCBS FM HD2, New York. This is CBS CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Stacy Lynn. Stuck in space. 2 astronauts have been on the International Space Station for 2 months. They were only supposed to be up there for 8 days, but there are concerns if the capsule they arrived on can safely get them back home. Here's CBS's Mark Strassman.
Within NASA, there has been disagreement over the risk to its 2 astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams. Wayne Hale is a former NASA flight director. He also served as the Space Shuttle program manager after the Columbia disaster. 7 astronauts were killed during re-entry 21 years ago. A foam strike during launch had damaged Columbia's wing. NASA was faulted then for flawed decision-making and minimizing concerns over safety and risk.
There are many sleepless nights over some of these decisions to try to make the very best decision to move the program forward with an adequate amount of safety.
That could mean turning to Boeing's competitor, SpaceX, to bring the 2 astronauts home.
It's been 4 years since interest rates went down, but Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says the time has come. Business reporter Jason Brooks.
Powell said the labor market has softened while inflation continues to trend in the direction of the Fed's 2% target. Current Wall Street odds are pricing in as many as 4 quarter-point cuts before the end of this year.
The latest now in the investigation into the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. CBS's Maurice Dubois reports.
CBS News has learned that at least 5 Secret Service agents have been placed on administrative leave. Sources say that includes the special agent in charge of its Pittsburgh field office, as well as an agent within Trump's detail. The agency's Internal Affairs Division investigating now how a 20-year-old gunman was able to fire 8 rounds from a rooftop near where Trump was speaking in Butler, Pennsylvania, including one shot that grazed his ear.
Now that the conventions are over, who won in the ratings, Dems or Republicans?
As a TV show, the Democrats edged out the Republicans, averaged 22 million viewers for the 4 nights. That compares to the Republican average of 19.1 million back in July, according to the Nielsen Company.
I accept your nomination.
The biggest night is always the last one, and that was true this year as Vice President Kamala Harris ended the convention with her speech and attracted 26.2 million viewers compared to former President Donald Trump's 25.4 million on his big night. And we will begin the 4 greatest years. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
And some breaking news overnight of a potential prisoner swap between Russia and Ukraine. Reuters says the 2 countries are set to exchange 115 prisoners today. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead. But you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
This is Tom Kaminsky, and I know better than anyone the importance of staying focused on the road. Distracted driving kills people every year. Calling on your cell phone, taking emails, or texts while driving is selfish and puts you and those around you at risk. Think twice before you reach for your cell phone in the car. Ask yourself, is this really worth it? A message from WCBS 880.
This is WCBS 880 News. Portions of this broadcast have been recorded. WCBS Through the Years continues. Here's Wayne Cabot and Paul Murnane.
1943, the Harlem Riots. August 1st, Cab Calloway and his orchestra playing over 880 at 12:30 in the morning as the riots were raging outside.
It didn't take long for us to switch gears on that. With the riots happening, WABC reporters were setting up for a news conference with the mayor at the time, Fiorello LaGuardia. He was about to take the air at 1 a.m. discussing the riots that were happening at that moment in Harlem.
I do not want this to develop into anything very serious. There may be some people who may like to see trouble, but we do not want trouble in our city. And certainly, the people of West Harlem know that they have no cause to complain and should cooperate with me at this time.
The death of FDR. Here's April 13th, 1945, WABC 880 AM.
The whole allied world this morning is paying homage to the memory of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, even as his successor, Harry S. Truman, takes up his duties as the nation's new president. To our naval forces at sea, to our Army personnel, to the people of America, and to all the United Nations, Mr. Roosevelt's sudden death at Warm Springs, Georgia, has come as a profound shock. Something tragic and almost incredible.
Those tears were soon wiped away with cheers. First victory over the Nazis in Europe, VE Day. This is May 8th, 1945. Give a listen to our coverage.
Because Patton's Third Army was advancing in an attack through Austria and Czechoslovakia, he was the first to be notified. Get word to all your units, he was told, and stop them in place. No sense in taking casualties now that it's over. And so it went on through the early morning. The news spread through this command. It was all over. By the time of our morning briefing, General Bradley was beaming, waiting to tell us correspondents the good news.
Now to the end of the war, September 2nd, 1945, VJ Day, WABC 880, in the middle of your hit parade.
I love to lie.
We interrupt this program. Japan has signed the documents of surrender. In Tokyo Bay, aboard the battleship Missouri, the Japanese foreign minister put his signature to the paper ending the Second World War. This is Bob Trout in New York, switching you first to the USS Ancon.
Attention, the peoples of the world. World War II is about to come to its official close. We're on the Pacific Fleet flagship USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay for the signing of the surrender of Japan.
WCBS Through the Years returns right after this.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You got a pecto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can get back to making memories. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use that directed. Keep out of reach of children. Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
You're not sitting in that delayed by Country Club Road, are you? Oh, no. Please tell me you're not. Well, if you are, it's going to take a while, especially if you're on the eastbound side of the Bruckner heading over by East Fremont Avenue and trying to get up towards Pelham Parkway, because they knocked out the left lane. They do this a lot on Saturday mornings. They did it throughout the summer, and it's just terrible. It's brutal. So if you're using the Throgs Neck Bridge entering the Bronx, go right to the service road. Don't even mess with that. Right to the service road over by Lafayette Avenue and save some time. Northbound Whitestone Expressway still slow over by the foot of the Whitestone Bridge. Incident has cleared, but again, residual delays. Northbound Egan approaching the 3rd Avenue Bridge is slow. Inbound George is still a solid 20 minutes. Outbound is about the same. You have upper level roadwork waiting to clear. 15 minutes on both sides of the Lincoln. Holland Tunnel would be better. The delays continue on the north and southbound Pulaski Skyway, where you do have roadwork slowing you down. And the southbound side of the Gowanus has a crash over by 39th Street, which is causing delays in both directions. And the northbound thruway heading up towards Harriman, seeing a lot of volume over by Route 6. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with another mainly clear and quite comfortable early morning, with the low getting down to 66 in Midtown. However, the coolest northern and western spots once again start the day in the 50s, ahead of a pleasantly warm day later today, with sunshine most of the day and a high reaching 83. We'll have some clouds around the area for Saturday night with a low of 67, before it turns a bit more humid for your Sunday, but it stays warm with some sunshine and a high getting up to 85. We'll have partial sunshine for Monday, but it remains warm and humid. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm in the area with a high of 83, and there can even be a shower on Tuesday, especially north and east of the city. Otherwise, it stays humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine and a high of 81.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on
on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
WCBS Through the Years continues.
Welcome back to WCBS Through the Years. I'm Wayne Cabot.
And I'm Paul Murnane.
The war was behind us. It was time for us to celebrate our freedom as the troops came home. Time for us to embrace this new medium, this growing medium of radio, and it was growing by leaps and bounds, and so were we. This was the year in 1946 when we became WCBS, but it was not easy to get those call letters.
There was already a station on the air, WCBS Springfield, Illinois, it turned out.
They had their call letters since 1927. What did that sound like?
Tonight we are again privileged to open the door of opportunity to Chick and Chubby, a grand pair of clowns from Laughterland.
Thank you, Mr. Valet, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hardly know what to say on an occasion of this kind. About the only way that I can express myself is in the words of our senators in this last session of Congress, who so aptly said, little that we may say or do here will long be remembered. We hope.
The American Broadcasting Company arrives this same year. CBS is thinking there will be confusion if we continue to call ourselves WABC. And so, WCBS was born at 8:80 a.m.
Hello? Yes, this is Arthur Godfrey. What's that? My friend, I agree with you absolutely. It's really confusing. WABC is WCBS, but WCBS is WABC. That's right, WABC was the first station to apply for a change in call letters that would identify it with its network. Absolutely, we were the first. I'll say, we're mighty proud of CBS. Well, you just stay tuned to our station for a few minutes, please, and we'll try to unscramble the whole thing for you. The Pet Milk Show has even given up their time to do it. Yeah, Pet Milk will be back in this spot next Saturday night as usual. But right now, we're going to make WABC, WCBS once and for all. Sort of a christening party.
Pardon me, Mr. Godfrey, but we're on the air.
Oh, yes, of course.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. With this special broadcast, we are about to introduce station WCBS, until now WABC. It will do business at the same stand, under the same management, but with a new name.
The growth of CBS and WCBS was stellar during the 1950s. What a big time that was, running a bunch of network shows and local shows, and soon to be I Love Lucy star and band leader Desi Arnaz was hosting a game show on this station in 1951 called Your Tropical Trip.
Yes, that young man who in such a short time has become a sensational star in nightclubs and theaters and on records, our Latin American ambassador of goodwill and great music of all the Americans, Desi Arnaz.
Señoras y señores, y bienvenidos a nuestro programa de la radio. Espero que les guste. Y quiero felicitarlos, los quiero felicitar a todos por el Christmas, los quiero felicitar a todos por el 4th of July, los quiero felicitar a todos por el Memorial Day, y los quiero felicitar a todos por hoy. Translation, Happy Easter.
He had some splaining to do. WCBS had another homegrown star. New Yorkers were waking up to him every morning since 1948. Here's Jack Sterling as the WCBS morning man in 1958.
Yes, sir. Believe it or not, this is the beginning of the end of the 3,121st Sterling Show. I know something. I don't like my choice of words at all. Nice to have you join us as always, particularly on this morning. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary, and we have moved across the street from where we usually talk to you. And we're in the studio building here on 52nd Street, and we're expecting a number of our clients, agency people to come down and visit us in the last half hour of the show. The weatherman says partly cloudy, a chance of a brief shower today, and a high today will be in the upper 50s. Clear, cool tonight and tomorrow, with a low tonight about 40 near the coast, and in the 30s inland. The high tomorrow in the 50s. I'm always scared of this one, but the outlook for the weekend is mostly fair. Well, to brighten up your morning, we have a little thing called the Airmail Special for you right now, and it's 17 minutes past 8 o'clock.
More coming up. WCBS Through the Years.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable, nationwide coverage as Big Wireless. Now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
The Hamlet Rehabilitation and Healthcare Center in Wisconsin is a state-of-the-art subacute center in Suffolk County and the recipient of the Ellie Pick Leadership Award. To learn more, visit HamletRehab.com. We start where others stop.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
We have a trouble spot in Nassau County on Long Island, south of the Southern State Parkway on the Meadowbrook. That is a crash knocking out a lane heading down towards Sunrise Highway, so be on the lookout for that. Westbound delays on the LIE right around Little Neck Parkway. Look out for the long-term road work over by Alley Pond Park. Eastbound, westbound Grand Central Parkway over by the Clearview. Now, if you're traveling on the southbound Van Wyck, slow from Jewel Avenue down to the Q. Eastbound Grand Central Parkway, same deal. From Jewel Avenue down to the Q, it's bumper to bumper. Now, if you're traveling over by the Whitestone Bridge, the northbound Whitestone Expressway remains very slow over by Linden Place and heading up to the foot of the bridge. Heading across the Throgsneck, well, keep in mind that road work is waiting for you over by Country Club Road, northbound 95, before you get to Pelham Parkway. So go with the service road. 25 minutes in and out at the George, still working on the road work there. We do have delays on the northbound West Side Highway 160 because of that earlier crash investigation. At least 15 minutes on both sides of the link, and you'll do better for Holland. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with clear skies much of the time early this morning, with a rather comfortable start to the day once again on the way down to a low of 66 in Midtown, but 50s for the coolest northern and western suburbs, ahead of a rather sunny day later today with warmer conditions as the high reaches 83. We'll have partly cloudy skies Saturday night, but it stays dry with a low of 67, and despite it turning a bit more humid on Sunday, it remains generally comfortable with some sunshine and a high of 85. The humidity does build for Monday, though, with partial sunshine. It will then stay warm with an afternoon thunderstorm around and a high of 83. Then it remains humid into Tuesday as well with a blend of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower in a couple of spots with a high of 81.
On Monday, WCBS 880
880 will no longer broadcast the news. WCBS has been the Tri-State's trusted source for decades. We will always be grateful to you, our listeners, and to the men and women who made the station one of the premier news operations in America. Household names, then, like Ed Bradley, Pat Summerall, and Jim Donnelly. To the voices of today, like Wayne Cabot, Steve Scott, Bridget Quinn, and Tom Kaminsky. And of course, to the hundreds of people who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make WCBS 880 News such an important part of the daily lives of so many. An important message to our Mets fans. Every pitch of every game will still be heard right here on 880. For news, weather, and traffic, we invite you to tune to 92.3 FM, home of 1010 Wins. All news, all the time.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead. But you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Hi everybody, it's Ed Randall. 1 in every 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. But early detection results in the least invasive treatments and the best outcomes. Men, have a conversation with your doctor about the testing for PSA. It's a simple blood test. For more information about getting screened for prostate cancer, go to fansforthecure.org.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
WCBS Through the Years continues. Here's Wayne Cabot and Paul Murnane.
Life in the 50s was a big reprieve from those tough war years. Things seemed to be at peace, and so we thought as we headed into the 1960s.
New Year's Eve, 1962 on WCBS.
Happy New Year to you from WCBS and WCBS FM, New York. Now, Guy Lombardo and his friends.
1963 was a time of severe racial tensions. There were big changes on the way. Malcolm X was a revolutionary leader in many regards, and we had him on WCBS on what was the longest-running news program in New York. Let's Find Out, an interview program, a precursor to what you might say to Face the Nation today. And here Lou Adler and Joe Dembo, and a reporter for the New York Herald at the time, sat down to ask Malcolm X about his aims.
No one seemed to please you very much, Mr. X. Martin Luther King or President Kennedy or Ralph Bunche or Roy Wilkins or just about anybody you can think of. I wonder, what is it you want? What are you after? What are you for? I think you'll find that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has spelled out beautifully what he wants. He wants freedom, justice, and equality for the American so-called Negroes. And 310 years of servitude here, physical slavery here, and 100 years since the Civil War is sufficient proof that the black man cannot get freedom, justice, and equality here in this white American society. So all Mr. Muhammad is saying is that it is time now for us to separate ourselves from the whites and try and go into a land of our own and solve our own problems. And this is the only intelligent solution.
WCBS was there through it all. And then came November of 1963, Wayne.
The assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you a bulletin from WCBS Radio News. The story, as it is just being handed to me, is datelined Dallas, Texas. It says, according to the United Press, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade today in downtown Dallas.
By the mid-1960s, CBS was in Black Rock, the beloved name for our corporate headquarters and our radio home at 51 West 52nd Street.
What a beautiful building. You take one look at it, you know why it's called Black Rock right there. And that was where so much of CBS and the Tiffany Network grew.
By this time, you could hear hints of what will become WCBS News Radio 88. Up to the minute was an afternoon drive airtime program that would really become the prototype of News Radio 88 in 1967.
It was right about this time of the year, August 28th, as a matter of fact, of 1967, when we began WCBS News Radio.
Good morning. This is Steve Porter welcoming you to WCBS News Radio 88. Because of an accident yesterday, an aircraft knocking over our AM transmitter tower, WCBS FM will carry our new broadcasting concept until WCBS AM facilities are repaired. WCBS time is 5:30 in the morning, and weather is behind most of the news this morning, even though the worst of it has finally left the New York metropolitan area. Heavy rain and fog yesterday caused transportation tie-ups, caused flooding, and was indirectly responsible for the destruction of WCBS and WNBC radio's AM broadcasting tower. A small plane groping through the fog yesterday afternoon slammed into the tower, knocking it down and killing at least 2 passengers. One report says there may have been 3 other persons aboard the Piper Cherokee, which slammed into the WCBS-NBC tower. The plane wound up in Long Island Sound after careening off the tower. 2 bodies surfaced immediately, but police fear more may have been aboard. One of the 2 bodies recovered has been identified as Ronald Bomballo of Manhattan. Police say he may have been one of a party of 4 that spent the weekend at East Hampton. Presumably, the 4 plus the pilot could have been aboard the craft. According to a report from the company that owned the plane, the aircraft was originally taken without authorization from the LaGuardia Airport.
Through the years.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut's home for news, traffic, weather, and the mess. This is WCBS 880 News. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
We have a trouble spot in Nassau County on Long Island, south of the Southern State Parkway on the Meadowbrook. That is a crash knocking out a lane heading down towards Sunrise Highway, so be on the lookout for that. Westbound delays on the LIE right around Little Neck Parkway. Look out for the long-term road work over by Alley Palm Park. Eastbound, westbound Grand Central Parkway over by the Clearview. Now, if you're traveling on the southbound Van Wyck, slow from Jewel Avenue down to the Q. Eastbound Grand Central Parkway, same deal. From Jewel Avenue down to the Q, it's bumper to bumper. Now, if you're traveling over by the Whitestone Bridge, the northbound Whitestone Expressway remains very slow over by Linden Place and heading up to the foot of the bridge. Heading across the Throgsneck, well, keep in mind that road work is waiting for you over by Country Club Road, northbound 95, before you get to Pelham Parkway. So go with the service road. 25 minutes in and out at the George, still working on the road work there. We do have delays on the northbound West Side Highway 160 because of that earlier crash investigation. in at least 15 minutes on both sides of the link, and you'll do better for Holland. Andre Farrow, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with another mainly clear and quite comfortable early morning, with the low getting down to 66 in Midtown. However, the coolest northern and western spots once again start the day in the 50s, ahead of a pleasantly warm day later today, with sunshine most of the day and a high reaching 83. We'll have some clouds around the area for Saturday night with a low of 67, before it turns a bit more humid for your Sunday, but it stays warm with some sunshine and a high getting up to 85. We'll have partial sunshine for Monday, but it remains warm and humid. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm in the area with a high of 83, and there can even be a shower on Tuesday, especially north and east of the city. Otherwise, it stays humid with a mix of clouds and sunshine and a high of 81.
When you need to know why, when it matters most. This is WCBS 880 News.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
CBS News Brief. Amid concerns over a Boeing space capsule's safety, 2 astronauts are still stuck on the International Space Station. NASA officials will meet today to decide whether they can safely return to Earth on that craft or wait until early next year and fly home with rival SpaceX. CBS's Mark Strassman tells us.
If NASA goes with the SpaceX option, it could be humbling, even humiliating for Boeing, and call into question the future of its Starliner program.
Our Jason Brooks with some good news about those sky-high interest rates.
Investors were happy to hear Jerome Powell tell the Fed's annual Jackson Hole meeting that it's time to start adjusting policy, signaling a September rate cut on the way.
There's a potential prisoner swap in the works between Russia and Ukraine. Reuters is reporting the 2 countries are set to exchange 115 prisoners today, following mediation from the United Arab Emirates. CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut's home for news, traffic, weather, and the mess. This is WCBS 880 News. Portions of this broadcast have been recorded. WCBS, through the years, continues.
Welcome back to WCBS Through the Years. I'm Wayne Kevin.
And I'm Paul Murnane. A way to tell a radio station's story, a way to tell the listener what they're listening to, is through the magic of jingles.
We know about earworms. They just stick with you. And here are some of the earworms over the years, the jingles, a little sample of how our WCBS jingle pack has changed from the 1950s right through today.
WCBS New York. With news and information at your service. Here on your New York 880 station, you brighten your hours at home or away, and lighten your hours every night and day. At your service, at your service. WCBS.
1967. Here's Lou Adler in 1968, after LBJ said he would not seek another term in the White House.
But it's doubtful anyone was prepared for the political punch President Johnson was about to deliver last night. New York City Council President Frank O'Connor, one of the Johnson spear carriers in New York State, took the news grimly.
I think I share with all Americans all over the country a feeling of great surprise and shock and dismay. I think this man has been a great president. I think his posture with relation to his great desire for peace has never come across to the American people. And I think it's tragic that he has withdrawn his name from the political race.
Paul, you and I both were kids listening to WCBS in the 1970s. I can recall Art Athens coming on and talking about this predator. At the time, they called him the 44 caliber killer, who had been going from place to place, first in Queens, picking people off as they sat in their cars on date night.
WCBS, summer of 77.
I'm very pleased to announce that the people of the city of New York can rest easy this morning because of the fact that the police have captured a man whom they believe to be the son of Sam.
July of 1977, the lights went out. WCBS 880 stayed on.
All I can tell you is there were severe electrical storms to the north, just prior to the blackout here. It went out, lights totally went out about 15 minutes ago.
A heavy rainfall has started here in New York City, and fortunately for the people along 14th Street, the rain is a blessing in disguise. When I came here to the headquarters of Con Ed, there was a lot of shattered glass, a lot of police sirens, police lights, a lot of police activity along the block.
It is bedlam trying to drive in this city. You can't see nothing, obviously, other than what flashes before your headlights. The problem you have is that there are people everywhere.
I want to express first my total outrage that at this hour, the city of New York is still without power, and the prospects for restoration of full electrical service remain vague as far as Con Ed is concerned.
It was radio's night. That was across the river at Grandma's house in Kearney, over the swamps, looking from the corner of Schuyler Avenue and seeing nothingness over New York City, except for the blinking beacon on the top of the then World Trade Center, and hearing it described on WCBS 880.
More coming up. WCBS Through the Years.
Morning, people, wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast, people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Wake up and start your morning at McDonald's. Right now, mix and match two of your favorite breakfast sandwiches for just $6. Like a sausage McMuffin with egg, sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or chicken McGriddles. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Does your senior loved one need more activity during the day? Parker offers daytime senior care in Highland Park, Somerset, and Monroe, New Jersey. Parker provides transportation, meals, entertainment, nursing, and personal care services. Parker's daytime senior care is the perfect balance of independence and support. Learn more about this enriching alternative to assisted living at parkerlife.org or call 848-360-3828. Parker's Daytime Senior Care, where we make aging part of life.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
Saturday mornings used to be known for watching Saturday morning cartoons like, I don't know, Captain Caveman, stuff like that. But now they are known for sitting in delays. That's what you're doing right now in the Bronx, northbound 95. Country Club Road heading up towards Pelham Parkway. Bumper to bumper there because of this left lane road work that they decide to do every Saturday morning. Go with the service road, go with the hutch if that works for you. Inbound George, outbound George. Throw in 25 minutes on both sides as they're still picking up some of the cones there and the road work from the overnight. Northbound delays continue on the West Side Highway heading up towards 160th Street where we had an earlier crash on the overnight and an investigation. So not a good deal there. You're still dealing with a diversion. You have to go to Riverside Drive for an exit over by 13 as you head towards the George Washington Bridge in the northbound direction. About 15 minutes into the Lincoln, outbound Holland is in okay shape. You do have delays across the Kosciuszko eastbound as you make your way up towards the LIE. And a big delay on the northbound side of the Gowanus Hornets heading up towards Fort Hamilton Parkway. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
The weekend kicks off with clear skies much of the time early this morning, with a rather comfortable start to the day once again on the way down to a low of 66 in Midtown, but 50s for the coolest northern and western suburbs, ahead of a rather sunny day later today with warmer conditions as the high reaches 83. We'll have partly cloudy skies Saturday night, but it stays dry with a low of 67, and despite it turning a bit more humid on Sunday, it remains generally comfortable with some sunshine and a high of 85. The humidity does build for Monday, though, with partial sunshine. It will stay warm with an afternoon thunderstorm around and a high of 83. Then it remains humid into Tuesday as well with a blend of clouds and sunshine. There can be a shower in a couple of spots with a high of 81.
Open calendar. What's my...
Palmer name. WCBS News Radio 88 was such a success in the 1970s. People came to us for the events, and that continued into the 1980s, a decade that began with an unspeakable tragedy here in New York City.
And again, from personal experience, Paul, I put the radio on and heard Jim Donnelly and Lou Adler playing Beatles music. I thought I had the wrong station on until I realized what the news was.
Extensive resuscitative efforts were made, but in spite of transfusions and many procedures, he could not be resuscitated.
Police arrested 25-year-old Mark David Chapman, a former security guard and a resident of Honolulu, Hawaii, for the killing of John Lennon. Yesterday afternoon, Chapman apparently had Lennon autograph an album for him as Lennon headed out to a recording session. Lennon and his wife were returning from that session to eat, and Chapman was waiting for him.
As you walk in the archway area, there's kind of a vestibule which has a doorway, a glass doorway. This individual, Mr. Chapman, came up behind him and called to him, Mr. Lennon, as he arrived at that doorway. And then in a combat stance, he emptied the Charter Arms .38 caliber gun that he had with him and shot John Lennon.
Mark David Chapman is in Bellevue Hospital now for psychiatric examination. Did you get any clue as to the motive why he did it? He talked to you about Lennon, apparently.
No.
What did he say about John Lennon?
He likes him very much.
WCBS News Radio 88, on the job in the 1980s. Let's go to 1986 now, and the Challenger disaster.
In space today, as the shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after it lifted off this morning, apparently killing all aboard. Paramedics have parachuted into the Atlantic off the coast of Florida to try to retrieve any debris and any possible survivors of the explosion. NASA says there has been no indication that anything was wrong until a section of the rocket exploded. This is the first time a U.S. manned space mission has failed in 56 such attempts. And again, there has been an explosion aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger, and it appears all aboard have been killed. We'll bring you up to the minute with all of the information. This is WCBS New York. It's 12 o'clock.
And on WCBS, an event that would change New York and the world.
As we were looking back, we did see a second explosion of some type, so both of the towers of the World Trade Center are now affected. This second explosion has just happened. We're still looking at debris raining down, and now from tower number 2.
This is not a timeline of every event that happened. That would take us into the next decade.
Right.
So much news was underway, and we covered it all through these 57 years.
One of the reasons for our success is the hard work. Wayne, you and I have talked about how we stand on a foundation that was built by so many people.
And we had the luxury of being able to learn from, listen to, and emulate these legends in broadcasting and try to carry the tradition of this radio station forward. And I think part of our success, Paul, is we never felt like we measured up, and that's not false humility. That was just a mechanism to make us work harder.
They all worked hard. Here are the names.
Good morning. This is Steve Porter welcoming you to WCBS News Radio 88.
Dave Flanders and WCBS News Radio 88 Mobile Unit number 1. This is Jack Kavanaugh and WCBS News Radio 88 Mobile Unit number 2.
Joseph Sigilbert in helicopter number 1.
Neil First, helicopter number 2. Bill Denning reporting from Bridgeport. This is John Anthony reporting to WCBS News Radio 88 from Roosevelt Battlefield, Rhode Island.
Good morning, I'm Lou Adman. And I'm Jim Conway. Good morning, this is Gil Gross.
This is Art Athens at the news desk.
This is Steve Birnbaum.
On the news beat, this is Wolf Wheeler. Spencer Ross here, sports news coming up. At the anchor desk, this is Gary Moore. I'm Jeffrey Lyons.
Weather forecast coming along, I'm Eric Grossman. My report on business, I'm William S. Rukeyser.
Consumer information, I'm Elaine Rose.
At the anchor desk, this is Tom Franklin.
I'm Jane Tillman Irving with Perspective.
This is Barry Landers. Updates on the top stories, I'm Bill Pham.
John White right here. Headlines coming up. Wade Elliott with Sports Central USA.
I'm Dr. Stephen Andrew Davis.
Headlines coming up. This is Bob Glenn.
Robert Vaughn. Headlines coming up.
Medical news, I cover it. I'm Mel Granick.
Consumer information, I'm Joe Durso Jr.
My assignment at News 88. I'm Ed Ingold.
Weather forecast coming along, I'm Craig Allen.
Harvey Hoffman.
We just Ann. Headlines coming up.
At the anchor desk, Pat Parson and Ben Farnsworth.
How to manage your dollars. I'm Marshall Lowe.
News from Wall Street, I'm Ken Pruitt.
I'm Anthony Dias-Blue.
Harvey Hoffman here.
This is Irene Cornell.
This is Rich Lang.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Open calendar. What's my schedule looking like?
Next Thursday, you will be caught in an emergency flash flood between Park and First Street.
What? No, that doesn't work. I'm busy then. Decline. Decline.
Floods don't exactly work around your schedule. Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. It starts with talking to your loved ones about making an emergency plan. So don't wait. Communicate. Visit dhses.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
WCBS 880 will cease operations on Monday. It has been an honor to deliver your news, weather, and traffic, and to be a part of your lives for nearly 6 decades. Beginning Monday, we invite you to turn to 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
2 trouble spots on the Gowanus. You have a crash northbound right around Fort Hamilton Parkway, making your way up towards that area of 66th Street. And then you have one southbound over by 39th Street, outbound Gowanus, with delays that go back to the Prospect. Plus, you're already slow on the westbound side of the BQE over by Flushing Avenue, where we have a disabled vehicle. We have roadwork delays as you travel in Mahwah, New Jersey, heading up towards Suffern. Big delay on the northbound side of 287, and 17 is slow in that area. Stamford, Connecticut checks in slow on the southbound side of 95 by exit 8. Still working on this crash investigation northbound on the West Side Highway in the 160s. They have a diversion in place. 25 minutes in at the George upper level because of the road work and the outbound delays that go back to the Bronx River Parkway. Northbound Whitestone Expressway still slow, and delays on the Cross Island Parkway, south and north, Northern Boulevard up to Bell. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
Nice day today. Sunshine already dominating the sky. A few clouds here and there. We'll warm to an afternoon high of 83, but the humidity remains pretty low. Overnight tonight, skies will be mainly clear. They're a pretty comfortable night overall. 68 in Midtown, but we'll get down into the low to mid-60s in most suburbs. As we go through the day tomorrow, sunshine will mix with a few clouds. It'll be warm, a little bit more humid in the afternoon. The high 85. Warm, humid weather lingers into Monday, low to mid-80s. Sunshine and building clouds. Watch out for a thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening. As we head toward Tuesday, a mix of sun and clouds. Very warm, but rain-free the way it looks now, with temperatures at least in the mid-80s.
Town Fair Tire became New England's #1 discount tire dealer by giving you the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. And with over 100 stores from Connecticut to Maine, we'll beat anybody's price. Other dealers, we beat them. Warehouse clubs, we beat them. Online sites, we beat them all every day. So remember, for the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024, Bank of America, N.A.
We could not possibly mention everybody who was on WCBS or behind the scenes over the years, but we can mention everyone who is here right now, and we'd like to give credit to those people.
Sean Adams,
Marla Diamond,
Sophia Hall,
Tom Kaminsky,
Wayne Cabot,
Palmer Name,
Levon Putney,
Bridget Quinn,
Steve Scott,
Michael Wallace,
Jim Feldman,
Phil Tynan,
Maggie Leone,
Heather Ron,
Oliver Sampson,
Carla Marilis,
Rivka Oppenheim,
Angel Sabarito,
Lisa Chernkovich,
Martin Untroy,
Lou Zambrana,
Laura Calarouch,
Tom Fenn,
Craig Allen,
Ashok Bala,
Anita Bonita,
Tanya Hansen,
Ray Hoffman,
Christy Kalishan,
Jake Angelo,
Alma Bove,
Anthony Bosco,
Yadanya Gonzalez,
Jamila Jallo,
Michael Pardal,
Ashley Reed,
Eve Rosado,
Sabrina Sullivan,
Dan Berman,
John Wilson,
Chris Roush.
It is amazing we have this sound going back to the 1920s. WCBS through the years. We would like to thank the people who have been smart enough and caring enough and passionate enough to save and preserve all of this audio. Phil Grice is one of those people. Don Swain. And of course the guy standing behind you and me right now, Paul, who's orchestrating this.
Dave Plotkin, and the Wayne Cabot Archives.
There are some geeky things that I recorded as a kid on my Radio Shack realistic tape recorder.
And you've been playing them to me in Morning Drive now for 8 years.
I'll send them to your house so you can keep on listening.
What is there left to say? For the final time,
this is WCBS New York,
the Columbia Broadcasting System.
WCBS.
You know, I'm not a sentimental guy ordinarily, but I feel like I just lost a friend.
Yeah, cheer up, pal. Your friend just changed his name.
Well, I hope he does as well by the new name as he did by the old.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, my friend. He'll be in there trying.
WCBS. WCBS. Yeah, rolls off the tongue all right.
Yes, sir. WCBS. WCBS. Sounds like good. I kind of like it. Doggone, you know, I'm going to have a crack at saying that thing right out loud on the air. Official-like. Like those high-priced announcers do. Ladies and gentlemen and all the little children, be all advised that from here on, except when we forget sometimes, this is Columbia's key station in New York, WCBS.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurk in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
St. Jude exceeds any expectation or any dream I could have ever had about a hospital. I was told we wouldn't get a bill. I didn't quite process that. How is this possible? It's possible through all the wonderful people who donate. I don't know if they are aware of what they do, but they're saving children's lives every day.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
When you need to know why, when it matters most. This is WCBS 880 News.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Fans, arrive early at Yankee Stadium on Saturday, August 24th for our Old Timers Day, commemorating the 15th anniversary of the 2009 Yankees winning the franchise's 27th World Series title, presented by Fresh Direct. See Yankees legends put on the pinstripes again and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Relive memories of your favorite former Yankees and make new memories with your family. Get your Saturday, August 24th Old Timers Day tickets commemorating the 15th anniversary of the 2009 Yankees, presented by Fresh Direct at yankees.com/tickets.
Time for WCBS traffic and weather together.
25-minute delays at the inbound George. That road work's still out there, still waiting to be picked up. And the outbound side of the George is going to be slow because of the approaches. The westbound cross Bronx bumper to bumper from White Plains Road to the Alex. Now, if you're traveling on the northbound West Side Highway, looks like they're close to wrapping up that investigation and then that diversion that was out there over in the...
Okay, there you have it. A 2-hour retrospective show that was aired on WCBS News Radio 880 in the final days, and I recorded it on my Sony receiver here that I have in the station of 640 AM The Mix. Usually I'm always touting 640 AM The Mix, but this video and a few more that are coming down the pipeline are going to be all about WCBS News Radio 880, or back in the day, if you had your little pocket radio receiver, it was News Radio 88. So a little bit of history there, and I hope you enjoyed the 2-hour retrospect. Comment below and catch you next time right here on 640 AM The Mix. Don't forget, check the description for the final word on today's video. Thanks for watching.